Hi everyone. If you're on ketogenic diet, vegan or not vegan, you know fat is absolutely paramount. But as vegans, we have added challenges because a lot of food that's rich in fat are coming from animal products such as cheese, eggs, meat, etc. So today I'm going to show you the best foods you can get sufficient fat from, and also to share with you a couple recipes that I use on a regular basis to make sure that I take in sufficient fat. Not only they're high in fat, but also rich in nutrients and absolutely delicious. So let's start. So the first candidate is obviously oil. So I'm going to show you the ones I use most often. This is olive oil. So I use this one primarily for cooking. This is good oil, but not cold pressed as such. So I've got a bottle of cold pressed here. So this is extra virgin cold pressed, I believe. You definitely don't want to use it to cook because all the nutrients and flavors will be lost. So I use it to drizzle on salads, tofu, anything. And also for cooking, I use coconut oil quite a lot. If you've been watching my videos, I use it quite a lot, not only for cooking, but also baking as well. It's one of the best oils you can cook with and also consume, basically. So when you cook with coconut oil, you will have that slight coconut flavor. So it's not 100% suitable for every single recipe. Quite often I use olive oil, which has less pronounced flavor, so it doesn't sort of interrupt the flavor I want to produce. Another oil I use quite often is hemp seed oil. I don't use hemp seed oil to cook. My favorite way of using hemp seed oil is actually drizzling on soups. Hemp seed oil has got this quite earthy, grassy kind of flavor, so it goes really well with smooth and creamy soups. And also, if you've been on keto for more than 5 minutes, you probably would have heard of MCT oil. So MCT stands for medium chain triglyceride. Try to say that after a couple of martinis. So basically what it is purified coconut oil. Is derived from coconut. So a lot of people believe that taking MCT oil is beneficial is because it's medium chain fat and it's easier for body to utilize it as energy quicker compared to ordinary fat, and is less likely to be stored as body fat. So that's a theory. And you probably find a lot of MCT oil products out there, but beware of ones that may be not as pure as they should be. And from what I gathered, what you want to make sure is go to the ingredient on the label and make sure it says C8 or something along that line. Otherwise, you could be buying something that's not very pure. So the way to use MCT oil, you don't cook with it. You use it very similar way to cold pressed olive oil, for instance. So you drizzle on food. You don't apply heat to it. And it doesn't have any pronounced taste. It's quite bland, so it doesn't intrude on recipes you're trying to make. But one word of warning with MCT oil, I've heard reports that people kind of overdo it. They add it in everything, so they end up with upset stomach. So you want to start a small quantity at a time and see how your body responds to it, and then you can increase if you want. But moderation is the key. So I bought this probably 6 months ago, and as you can see, still got plenty there. I use it occasionally, but I say you don't need it. Just use ordinary oil. They're just as good, and it's full of nutrients as well. But the king of all oils, in my mind, is this little guy. This bottle is from Japan, but it says sesame oil here, I promise you. So this is a toasted sesame oil. I almost only buy toasted sesame oil because of the flavor. I just absolutely love it. I don't use it to cook. I use it like olive oil, cold pressed olive oil, and just drizzle on food. I drizzle it on absolutely everything. It's scandalous. I drizzle it on salad, on tofu, on stir fry, on soups, you name it. I'll drizzle it on dessert if I could. I just love the flavor. It makes everything taste so lovely. And the next food I'm going to show you that's high in fat is avocados. You don't have to be on keto to love avocados. I mean, I eat them almost every day as a vegan and prior. They're just absolutely delicious. and full of nutrients. So I'm going to show you one of my favorite ways to eat these gorgeous, oily green gems is by drizzling them with sesame and peanut butter sauce. So take a bowl. Inside the bowl, we're going to add in some tahini. So give a little stir, drizzle a bit of tahini, and we're going to add in some peanut butter. Use the purest peanut butter you can find. This one is about 96%, but I think you can find ones that's close to 100%. And we're gonna add a little dollop in there. So the ratio between tahini and peanut butter is about half and half, and you can find the recipe in the description box. And next, we're going to add in some soy sauce. And you also need some rice vinegar. So we're going to add in probably about a tablespoon. And add a pinch of stevia or sweetener of your choice. So I'm going to just have a little pinch in there. So normally I'll add some garlic, but I ran out of garlic today. Normally I'll add a small clove of crushed garlic. Also I've got chili oil here. This is optional. I like to have a little bit of a kick. So I'm gonna add in a dash of chili oil, and the quantity is up to you. And then take a fork or 8-beater and just mix the whole thing together. And now what we want to do is to add in water, small quantity at a time, and until you reach the consistency you want. So we're aiming at kind of a thick salad dressing. So make sure you add water bit by bit so you don't end up overdoing it. So that looks really good. And here's my avocado. As you can see, I've been a little bit fancy with my knife work there, and but you don't have to. You can just cut in cubes, it's perfectly fine. And now I'm going to drizzle this gorgeous sesame and peanut butter sauce on top of it. And just a little bit around. And I'm going to scatter some tomatoes on top of it. It's such a good combination. And to make it even better, I'm going to sprinkle some toasted sesames. And finally, I'm going to put coriander on top of it. You can use chopped spring onions if you want. So there you go. And trust me, this is one of the best avocado dishes you'll ever have. Another great source of fat is nuts and seeds, particularly nuts. I snack on them all the time, and most of them are high in really good fat. So if you look into my bag nowadays, you probably won't be able to find any cash. I mean, I almost don't use cash anymore, but you will find 3 things. One is a small jar of Himalayan salt, and a small bottle of olive oil, and a bag of nuts. So quite often if I'm traveling or go to a restaurant, I can never be sure that I'll be able to take enough fat or have anything meaningful to eat other than salad. So what I'll do is that if I find a food doesn't contain enough fat, I would drizzle the oil I bring myself because I know it's the best oil, add a bit of salt if I want to, and sprinkle some nuts. And that's a dish right there, a completely different dish. Maybe it's a little bit rude to the chef, but you know, you have to do what you have to do. And as I said, nuts are great for snacking. And a lot of times I just eat them on their own. But I have another great way of eating nuts that maybe you will enjoy too, which is wrapping the nut with seaweed, nori. So what you do is you turn the heat on, and then you take a sheet of nori here, and then just give it, kind of fan it, touching the heat, but not long enough that it starts to burn. I know it looks a little bit risque, but this is a technique that's used by sushi masters for making sushi, but obviously use a coal fire. So what it does is it allows the excess moisture to evaporate from the nori, which makes it slightly soggy sometimes, and then it increases the fragrance as well. So just do this a few times, And you can feel the nori is warm. And then turn the heat off and just allow the nori to cool to the room temperature. My favorite way of eating it is just take some nuts. I've got a selection of nuts. You can toast them slightly, but these are untoasted nuts. Let me just pop that on top of the hob. And you take the nori, you just toast it, and then just tear a small piece off. And then take the nuts, wrap the nuts with the nori sheet, like a little parcel, and just eat it like that. So just like this, you have the nut inside, and just pop in your mouth. Seaweed is so nice. I shouldn't talk when I'm eating. It's very hard. Lovely and crunchy, full of flavors. So last thing I want to show you is how to make vegan bulletproof coffee. So for the believers, the benefit of taking bulletproof coffee is having that combination of caffeine, which boosts your alertness, and also the fat that boosts your energy. So by taking it first thing in the morning is a tremendous enhancer to your energy level and your system in general. So you can give it a try. I don't take it every day. I do it occasionally, but not on a regular basis, simply because I prefer black coffee. But you can give it a go, and I'll show you how to do it. So here I've got a cup of freshly brewed coffee, and you just take a tall container and pour the coffee in, like that. So inside I'm going to add in some fat. So I'm going to use coconut oil. So you can use MCT oil if you want. And for non-vegans, I know most people use butter. So take a scoop, roughly about 1 tablespoon, depends on how much coffee you have. So I'm going to add about this much, probably just about 1 tablespoon. Put it in. And if you like, you can add some nut butter if you like the flavor. I'm going to skip it today. And I'm going to add in a dash of almond milk. I mean, this is optional. If you like it black, just leave it black. But I'm going to add in just a dash of milk. Maybe a bit more. And again, this is optional. You can add in some sweetener if you want. I'm going to just add a little pinch. Just that much should do. And all you do is to blitz it. I mean, you can put it in the blender if it's easier for you. I've got a Hemp blender, so I'm gonna just go straight in. There you go. It's almost like latte. And just pour. That's it. So there you go. Hopefully it's been useful for you. So being ketogenic, 70 to 80% of your food should come from fat of some kind. This should give you some idea where to get your good fat from. So hope you enjoyed that, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Cheers.